So I see no questions, right? So I pass the microphone over to Max. Serge, during the presentation, during the opening session, and Axel right now have already presented to you half of my presentation, but well, eventually I will have to speak here, and I want to explain to you the background of regional expansion. It all started about 6 months ago. There was a survey conducted. Serge and his team conducted this survey, and we realized that the local community wants and sometimes even demands that we increase our activity in the regions, that we organize more local events and improve our cooperation with local authorities. They asked us to establish regional offices to deal with local issues. You know that ENOG is not English speaking, while RAP NCC is part of the English speaking landscape, and sometimes this causes miscommunication. So almost immediately after receiving that request from the community in autumn 2013, several people emerged. I was the first one that RIPE NCC hired outside of its Amsterdam headquarters, and then I was joined by some more outside Amsterdam colleagues. Very recently, as Axel has just explained, about, well, 1.5 months perhaps, a Dubai office was opened. We were joined by 2 more people, and we are currently looking for another colleague for me here in Moscow. I hope that we'll be able to find the right person very soon. So we try to maintain a balance in all regions of our presence, the balance of technical and political expertise. I am the political component, if you will, and the technology component, I hope that we'll be able to acquire someone very soon. So here is the team. It's a small team, only 2 persons per region, plus an event coordinator, and Paul Rendek, that blonde guy, the picture at the top, he's the head of our departments. Objectives. The objectives are common for all regions. They do not differ, and they represent our global vision. We are a membership organization. RIPE NCC defends and represents the interests of RIPE NCC members and the technical community in its relations with the public sector, the governments, and also in its relations with other regional internet registries. Secondly, we want to turn RIPE NCC into a technical expertise center. Well, it is already a technical expertise center, but everyone needs to understand that. RIPE NCC is the largest RIR, Regional Internet Registry. We have more than 10,000 members. It means that since 1992, the technical community of RIPE has been growing the strongest. It enjoys a lot of authority. RIPE NCC is respected and trusted in our community. And going back to Serge's words at the start of the conference, Russia is the 2nd region in terms of the number of RIPE NCC members. Only the UK is in the 1st place, but Serge forgot to mention that Russia was in the lead until last year, and only last year this balance shifted in favor of the UK. One of our other objectives is to provide as much information to our members as possible to ensure a healthy and transparent internet environment. We try to develop and to support any internet initiatives that operate on the same model that RIPE NCC utilizes. It's the transparency and openness model, and it's the bottom-up process with due account for positions of all parties. We promote the dialogue, mutual trust and understanding between all stakeholders. Without this trust and understanding, even people who potentially speak the same language, geographically share a language, they may still misunderstand each other. And this really hurts the end result, because the result may not be productive and may not satisfy everybody. So all these barriers, even if they are made out of glass, they must be removed. We participate in the global internet governance and coordination. RIPE NCC is one of the largest stakeholders. Tomorrow we will have a special discussion of NDA transition. Mikhail Yakushev has already mentioned today this problem, and tomorrow we will ask everybody to join this discussion, because that's how RIPE NCC can participate in the global internet governance process. Now, what has been already done? What has happened in the first 5 months of the year? On the 9th of June, very soon, the first regional conference of RIPE NCC will take place in Almaty in Kazakhstan. It is another request that we distilled out of your responses to our survey. We understand that in certain areas the community is not as well organized, if you will, as they are organized in other places. For such countries as Kazakhstan, ENOG is not yet their family. They don't feel like they belong to this community. So we want to create that a feeling in them, and that's why we are going to run this conference. On the 6th of June, there will be an IPv6 day in St. Petersburg. Somebody asked the question about Switzerland. Well, on the 6th of June, we will bring Sylvia Hagen to St. Petersburg, and she is the person who in Switzerland has a hands-on experience with IPv6 deployment. So that achievement, the first country in Europe to have achieved double digits of IPv6 implementation, that's her doing. So I invite everybody to her keynote speech. IPv6 is the global, the 6th of June is the global IPv6 day, so let's make it a lively and an interactive event in St. Pete. One of our other advantages, well, in the last several months, there have been several RIPE events, and everywhere the Ministry of Telecommunications attended. It was the first time that the ministry was not just sitting in the room, but being present on stage with a microphone in hand, and they were very active in those roundtables and other panel discussions. Then there was the Russian IGF. That's when Axel came to Moscow for the 4th time, and he stayed at this hotel. We're going to strengthen our links with the Russian IGF and with other emerging IGFs, including the one that has been recently established in Azerbaijan. In June, there will be the EuroDIC forum in Berlin. We will be bringing the young talent to this forum, the young guys who are really interested in internet governance. We have a youth program, and they are the ones who excel themselves through this youth program. We have achieved a new level of communication with a number of international organizations, including ISOC. We have someone from ISOC here in the room, right? Well, we should have someone from ISOC. I can now, well, Mikhail Yakushev is now vice president, and it's easier and quicker for us to communicate with ICANN. APEC-TEL, this is the APEC Telecommunications Forum, the Forum of Asian and Pacific countries. I have already mentioned the new quality of our communication with the Ministry of Telecom and translation. Much has been already said about translation of the web pages and the documents, so I'll skip that bullet point. That's what has been already done. And now let's discuss our vision for the future. we want to build a team of external relations. This week already we will have a round of negotiations with the short-listed candidates. We had lots of applications. There was huge interest. We selected only few persons. Some of them are here in this room, by the way, and we'll see you in a couple of days. You all know who I mean. Next, we will be organizing IPv6 Roadshow. So I want to call upon everyone. We are looking for trainers right now. Someone who can explain difficult stuff in plain Russian. IPv6 Roadshow, it's a RIPE NCC regional initiative. It's one of the more profound and serious causes that the organization has. The slide stack accounts with 1,000 slides, perhaps. It's IPv6 A to Z. MSK-IX has already displayed interest, so if any of you have any ideas, if you want to become a trainer, if I don't know, if you want to get involved, it is high time for you to have contacted us. Together with the partners, we will promote IPv6 implementation at the corporate level. IPv6, I think the technicians understand what IPv6 is all about, but corporate people, those who sign the cost slips, they don't quite understand where is the usefulness of IPv6. Together with ISOC and with other people, we are currently doing a business case for IPv6, a cost efficiency study. It's not ready yet, but it will be an analysis. It will be a document, a paper describing the economic value of implementing IPv6. As we are one of the key stakeholders, we will continue supporting the global dialogue of NTIA transition. Tomorrow we will have a second round of discussions about that. Again, everyone is invited. We would really appreciate your opinion, because your consolidated opinion will be presented to ICANN for consideration. RIPE NCC has many programs and services that we offer to the region, and these programs must be localized. Atlas is a project that is pretty popular here, but we want to expand its geography because it's in the interests of everyone. We will continue promoting RIPE Atlas. RIPE Labs is a forum. It's a kind of a chat or a forum, an internet and web chat where people exchange opinions and ideas, and they get some interesting feedback. We also have RIC, RIPE Academic Cooperation Initiative. As part of this program, we identify academicians, scientists, researchers who are interested in broader aspects of IP networks development, and we help them with bringing their studies, their research to the international level. As to our cooperation with other stakeholders, we understand that we should educate them, and we should promote IPv6 among our partners. We will continue supporting ENOG, IGF, RIW, Russian Internet Week. We will have a program for youngsters. Later we'll be able to provide you more details. We have already achieved an agreement with the High School of Economics. and they are about to start an internet governance course, first of its kind. Will be the information donor of this project together with us in September. They will launch this course. It's gonna be very exciting, and we will continue attending the international conferences. Somebody hacked my presentation. Did I make it in time? Colleagues, any questions? Any questions about IPv6 or RIPE? But please state your name and organization. Yes, sure. My name is Alexander Samnin. Can you please go back to page 4 in your presentation? There are two things that I want to find out. Could you please say more about the second bullet point, RIPE NCC as the Technical Expertise Center? Is there anything apart from IPv6 Roadshow behind this bullet point? And also, twice in the presentation, I saw the words new quality of communication with the Ministry of Telecom, with the regulator. Why are you talking about the new level of quality? Is it because in the past the quality was non-existent, or? Okay, to answer your first question regarding the Center of Technical Expertise, so the question is, what is the question? I'm sorry. Oh, the plans. Yes, we are planning to cooperate with regional telecommunications center and other regulators. Not really all stakeholders realize what RIPE NCC is and what it does. And by putting this bullet point here, I mean that we are going to educate our partners more in what we do and what we are. And speaking about the new quality of communication, I've already mentioned that in the last several months, at all major RIPE NCC events, we had a delegation from the Russian Ministry of Telecom. The ministry is now involved in our activities at a new level. They were not involved like this in the past. On the 10th of June, as far as I understand, there will be a meeting between the internet industry and President Putin. Anyone's going to attend? Well, have you already received an invitation? No, I haven't received an invitation yet, but if you have one, could you please pass it over to RIPE NCC? Well, maybe Axel has an invitation to a meeting between the internet industry and President Putin. Well, no. Well, Axel, it means that if you get the invitation, you will come again to Moscow and you will have to stay in this hotel one more time. Any other questions, colleagues? Yes, I have a couple of questions. My name is Sergey. And my first question is, Maxim, you mentioned your academic program. I think that as far as I remember from the RIPE meeting in Rome, this program was not intended for academicians and scientists, but it was intended for the students of technology and science in the universities. So why High School of Economics and why Internet governance and not network maintenance? I'm not sure I understand that. Well, High School of Economics, it's because very soon, well, it was their initiative to start this course on internet governance, and we were excited when we learned about it, and we wanted to make sure that the technical community is, it has its say in this course. We are one of the key stakeholders, and we want the technical community's voice to be heard in the education system. So if we can contribute to educating people, I mean, they are not children anymore. They are young adults, right? And we will be able, through this cooperation with the High School of Economics, to make sure that those people, the graduates, they will graduate in 2, 3, 5 years, and they will go and work in big corporations, or they will go and work in the government. And Why not cooperate with the technical schools of universities? Because there you will find people who can help the internet develop. The government is always prejudiced. Well, I agree. I think it was on your next slide. If we, no, one more. No, another one. IPv6 in the corporate sector. You said, yeah, that's the one. Why at the corporate level and why not in the government? Government included. And government as well. I mentioned this regional telecom. No, could you please make the government notice IPv6? That's why we cooperate with RSS. We explain to them what IPv6 is, and RSS believes that it's not within their domain, it's not within their jurisdiction. They think it's something very technical, but when you start explaining to them, they know very little. But to talk with the corporates or to talk with the government, you have to use other wording. The information that you use in communication with the technical experts is not enough. You have to find additional arguments to convince the bureaucrats. And what about the Ministry of Telecom? Can they start their own website? They can shift to IPv6, at least with their own website? Well, perhaps they could, but I'm not the Ministry of Telecom and I cannot answer for them. Well, the whole dialogue of the government and the technical stakeholders is a separate story, and I don't think that we have time to go into all the intricacies of that relationship. But there was another question. How ripe is a technical expert? It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that the audience was waiting for an answer. It means that perhaps that there is a lack of understanding of this.
There was a comment, everything that RIPE is doing is great, and that's the answer. I would like to ask if there are questions from non-program committee members. So there are no more questions to RIPE. RIPE is great. Thumbs up. No objections. Now we're going to have a coffee break. Just one comment of mine. It was revealed that the feedback form is still not active on our website. It's just about contacts. That's where you can leave a free-form message or comment or whatever. Please use it.